What is up, guys? Silver Warrior here, and today I wanted to just provide an argument for you guys and see if you guys agree or not. But what I'm going to be saying today is something that's probably going to be pretty controversial. But what I'm going to be attempting to convince you guys is that silver is the best investment on the entire earth. And you guys most likely don't agree with me. Most of you are probably thinking, you've said it yourself, silver bullion, you never make a huge profit on. It's not like you can buy it and become a millionaire. You always advocate that, right? You always are like, don't buy into the hype. That's true. Other investments you might become a millionaire off of. But I am going to attempt to still convince you of this. And I can play devil's advocate. I understand what you guys are probably thinking right now. But still, you guys got to hear me out for this, okay? So, let me present my first point to you. Silver is the safest investment on the entire earth. How is it the safest investment? Well, let me ask you something. How much risk is there really to buying silver? Think about it. Overall, how much risk is there? Because as of now, at least personally, if I sold all my silver, I wouldn't lose anything. In fact, I'd make money compared to how much I paid for the bullion. So, the thing is that it's really the safest investment if you know when to buy. That's the problem. That's the problem, is that a lot of people don't know when to buy. So what they'll do is they'll be like, oh, silver's going up to $25 an ounce, I'm going to buy now. No, you don't buy when silver goes up to $25 an ounce, because even if it goes up higher, which most likely it will not, but even if it does, you're still taking the risk in the fact that if it bubbles up to 50, you don't sell, and it shoots back down, it could be back down to 25 in a few days from when it's at 50. And you might not have enough time to sell, because you might not be able to liquidate it. Because I'll tell you what, in a bubble, you think any coin shops or pawn shop or anything is going to give you spot? People don't pay spot regardless, unless silver is like taking a huge beating. Then might give you a spot. But at a bubble, they'll give you 80% of spot if you're lucky. So you're not going to have enough time to sell. So yes, I understand it's not safe of an investment then, but if you buy in the dips, if you invest in the way that investing is supposed to be, which is you buy low and sell high, seems pretty logical, then it is the safest investment, because you think you buy right now silver $17.50 an ounce, it's going to go back up. Silver was playing around with $22 an ounce for a couple months. It can sit around there for a while. That's the thing, is that if silver is at $17.50 right now, this is a good time to buy. I mean, it all depends. I personally think it could go lower just because of how bad manipulation is, but I'm not going to bank on it. I'm not predicting prices here, because I'm not a financial expert or something. I'm not someone that can predict prices. I mean, I've predicted certain trends before just using logic, but I don't know what's going to happen right now. I'm not afraid to admit that. So I'm not going to tell you guys to invest or not invest, but I'm personally not doing so, because I do think the price could go lower. But I would still say now is a fine time to buy. It's a safe enough time, because of the fact that the price is still relatively low. Silver could easily go higher. And the thing about it is that, unlike the stock market, silver prices can never crash. Silver can never go so low that it's not worth anything anymore, because unlike stocks, with silver, there's no real fraud that can go on behind it. That's what always causes the stock market crashes. You look at 2008, you look at in the 1930s, the stock market crash that caused the Great Depression. Both of those were caused by fraud that was going on behind the scenes. And it wasn't even just the stock market, it extended into other markets too. But the thing with silver is that silver acts as its own entity. And that's because of the simple fact that silver is such a simple investment, really. You're simply buying it. I mean, you're just buying raw physical silver bullion, and as long as you're not, investing in an ROI or some ROI, what am I talking about? No, that's not the right term. Man, I cannot think of that term right now. IRA, silver IRA. Sorry about that. And as long as you're not investing in an IRA, if you're investing in the raw metals yourself and you have them sitting in your house or somewhere else like that, then it's the simplest it can get. And that's my second point: is silver investing is the easiest investment that you can possibly get into. Really, it is good to do some research on it first, but at the same time, if you really don't know much about economics, you can still get into silver just fine. Silver is the common man's investment. I've had a whole video on it. Think about it. You can easily buy a 10-ounce silver bar if you have enough savings to do so and still have, enough money to be perfectly stable. Go for it. I mean, buy a 10-ounce silver bar, stack it and forget it. It's really easy to do that. And 10 years down the line, you'll still have that silver. Assuming it doesn't get, stolen or anything like that, or you don't sell it, you'll still have it in your hands. It's really a simple thing to do. I mean, once you start to get into the numismatic coins and everything like that, then yes, that's pretty tough. But if you're just investing in silver itself or stacking silver, then really it is the most simple thing you can possibly do, because of the fact that all you have to do is buy a little bit of silver and just leave it in your home. I mean, you don't have to think that deep into it. Now, you might want to watch the markets and then buy in the dips, like I was saying before, but you don't have to be like the most educated man in the world to invest in silver. Investing in the stock market, that's like a lot tougher. And then other, investments like that are a lot more difficult than silver, because silver, all you have to do is just buy the metal. And when you are stacking silver, at least, all you're doing is just preserving your wealth. You're not going to make a huge profit, so you can just stack it up and forget it. And really, you might think, well, that doesn't make it a good investment. But at the same time, every 10 or 15 years, there comes a time in the market when the big money is to be made. The people who know what they're doing, and this is the part that does make it not so simple anymore, but if you know what you're doing, you can wait for the bubbles. And I don't ever say, bank on a bubble happening tomorrow or something like that. Don't rely on it. Don't buy 100 ounces of silver, spend all your money on silver, and then hope that's going to go up to 50 an ounce, because that's not going to happen. But if you're just stacking it for years and just holding on to it, eventually it will bubble. It does bubble every decade or so. And when it does, you'll have that silver there, and there you go. You can sell it just like that. It's really simple. I mean, it is really not that deep when you think about it, because you just have the silver on hand, and then eventually you see the price shooting up. You wait for it to around peak out. Maybe it'll go up a few more dollars, just because you don't want to try to sell when the bubble's popping. Sell at the peak of its popularity, and then you go right back into silver once the market goes back down. Bubble investing is a very good way to triple your holdings in silver within a month or even less. And that's the thing, is that once silver, like I said, is not the most lucrative investment in the world, but when the time comes, in a few weeks you'll make so much money that you won't know what to do with it. If you have a 1,000-ounce stack, yes, it'll be hard to liquidate, but think. There's people that are driving the prices up. Everyone wants to buy and nobody's selling, because everyone thinks it's going to go higher and wants to hoard silver. You'll be one of the few people selling and fueling the market. You can sell your silver for outrageous prices, and it will sell like that. People will buy it instantly. They'll buy it in a heartbeat. They'll spend all of their life savings on it. Look at the tulip bubble from 1632. Same thing happened then. Everyone was buying tulips because of the simple fact that they thought that the tulips were going to skyrocket in value. The year might not be exactly 1632. I feel like that's way too late. I think it might be something like 1432. I didn't look up the tulip bubble before that, because I'm just kind of going off the dome right here. So sorry for that, but I do know that the tulip bubble was something very similar to a silver bubble, where everyone was buying these tulips. Everyone was spending their life savings on a single tulip. People were buying farms for future tulips because they thought they were going to keep on going up. And eventually the bubble popped. And it was really the first bubble that ever happened in history that was very well documented. So, point being, everyone's going to want to buy silver. And so, like I said, in a few weeks, if you have a 1,000-ounce stack and you sell it all, 50 grand. That you maybe spent 20 grand on, or less. Because right now you could spend 18 grand on that 1,000-ounce stack. So you think that, when you think about it, you can easily stack the silver up, forget about it, and not even have to worry about losing any money, as long as you're not spending money that you can't afford to spend. And then when the time comes around, you're going to be getting an insane amount of money off of it. So if you're still not convinced that silver is the best investment in the whole world, then I can understand that. Maybe you're like, well, I can make way more money off of stocks. Well, good for you, but guess what? At the end of the day, everyone has their own investments. And for me, I personally will stand by my point to anyone that silver is indeed the best investment. And if you have anything to counter my points in the comment sections, I'd love to have a good debate with you, as long as it's logical. It's perfectly fine. But other than that, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I convinced at least a few of you that silver is indeed the best investment in the whole world. Peace, love, and much respect.